which I believe is still the tournament PB. And then
Yeah, I think so.
Emery had the 114.50, so we'll see how this race goes. I expect it to be a little bit closer because Emery had a 112 last time. So as long as everything goes well, it looks like they're about to start, and they started. But as long as everything goes well, they should both be pretty close together.
And here we go.
Yeah. DK.
And one thing to note, Ahady is running, I believe, on an SSD PS4 Pro, where Emery just has a normal SSD, so...
It'll look like he's a little bit behind, but...
Yeah, really, he's not.
DK, can you tell me why they swap the gestures at the beginning of... I actually don't think that's something that's ever been explained.
I believe they just do it, it's faster access for that gesture later on when they need it. Because I believe they only use it for, because he changes the bow gesture, I believe, to the first gesture, right? I believe they really just put it on there for regardless.
Yeah. Well, actually, another reason for those of you who don't know, the gesture that you get selected most is like the second one. When you shake your controller, that's the one that gets registered the most. So you have the sit-down gesture there. And the sit-down gesture is like the worst gesture you can get. So you want to swap it. Yeah, you want to swap it out with something else. So just in case you get a salty gesture, you want to swap out those gestures.
Both runners out of the clinic and up the ladder. Good to see.
Yeah,
no Clinic Wolf memes.
No Clinic Wolf. Yes, Kershaw.
Warping into the dream, they're going to be forming the first little glitch of the run, where they're going to be picking up two weapons here. He's going to be picking up the Sock Cleaver, and then he's going to try to pick up the Threaded Cane as well. Almost picks up the Hunter's Axe by accident, but the Threaded Cane is only used for one part of the run, much later on, so we'll get back to that later.
Is that the Kershak? Wow, it's been a while since I've seen that name. Yeah, so it allows them to get two weapons, ultimately. It's really convenient. Because they need the Threaded Cane for a skip that they're going to do later on.
Yeah.
And they pick up these 4 Molotovs for the boss that's coming up, so you want to do... for this upcoming boss, you want to do a mixture of parries and Molotov hits, and maybe like a backstab or two. You hardly deal any R1s, really. Well, you kind of do, but for the most part, the most of the damage is done with the R1s. Ahady trying to do sewer skip. It doesn't look like he's going to get that one, though.
Yeah, but, I don't believe he's going to get that one.
The way that you do sewer skip is you jump on those boxes, and then you jump from that alcove over to that other pillar. And only the pillars have a hitbox. The railing itself does not, so it means that you've got to land precisely on a certain spot. Or else... I am hosting.
Yeah, or else you'll spawn in back like Ahady just did. And it looks like Ahady got it the second try. I believe Emery got it the first try. Looked like he got collision on the post.
And again, it might look like Ahady's a little bit more ahead.
Oh, he didn't get it, actually.
Oh,
and that's
a fail. Yeah. One scary thing about the skip, though, is that those boxes are very fragile. Like, if you step on them wrong, they'll break, and so...
Oh, yeah.
Ahady got it second try, though. That's nice.
Does not get knocked off with a dog. Yeah. Beautiful.
Again, it doesn't mean that Emery's behind, because technically they have the same number of quitouts. As long as he gets it this next try, he should still be basically on pace. Just those quitouts of his are a little bit longer. He might get it there. Yeah,
using the post sometimes like that, like bouncing off the statue, tends to knock you down into the post where you're trying to land on, so he might get it right there.
And now for the dreaded gas coin fight. This fight is really exhilarating, but it's probably, surprisingly enough, one of the most reset-heavy fights in the game.
Yeah, it's. I think all the runners are glad that this is the. Well, doesn't get it again. That this is the first boss of the run, because it's such a huge reset point.
Like this boss is hyper aggressive. Sometimes his parry fails, and then his the wolf form that comes a little bit later is really
and now his dialogue puppet's trying to transform into second phase. He's trying to put his acts together like he just did, and you really don't want him to do that because second phase, the parry windows are very different. He just puts out twice as much damage, pretty much.
And then also he's like he has a lot of more hyper poise, which the first phase thankfully does not. So
Emery through sewer skip now, but
third try I think that was right.
Fourth try.
Fourth try. Oh.
But Ahady with a pretty good Gascoigne fight, and I think he's going to be picking up the Hunter set here.
A little bit scary, but for the most part it was pretty good. Oh, one little nice trick that was rather recently found, surprisingly enough, right around when I even started running this game. If you trick your weapon while entering a cutscene zone, you can actually... So normally it would slow you down after you skip the cutscene, but if you trick your weapon before you enter the cutscene and you do it right around that time, it'll actually allow you to keep sprinting. So you prevent that like little slowdown. It just saves like a second at most, but it's like really nice, and that's on
really nice
considering you like get like 6 cutscenes or so. I don't know the math.
Yeah, I have no idea the amount of cutscenes, but a good amount for sure. So definitely adds up. And we're getting the double damage Molotov on Gascoigne going into phase 3, and a beautiful parry. It's going to be a nice finish to the fight.
Very nice fight from Emery. Now for the dreaded reset point number 2, these dogs can actually be really obnoxious. And it's still not over for Ahady, but for the most part he got through the hardest part, I want to say.
Yeah, some runners opt to put out after getting the fire paper to just like kind of reset the dogs, and then you don't have to deal with them, but I don't think he's going to. No.
Yeah, he could easily kill them too. Yeah, he's just gonna...
Smartly shoots him, flies him away.
Unfortunately, they don't have any Molotovs to do the Mechatov for
yeah. That always feels good.
And so both runners opting to use the Hunter set. In the more optimal route currently, we actually skip this set until you go to the DLC. And the reason why is because I think it loses like 8 seconds, so you just pick up another set later on. But the set that you currently have on is actually really, really bad. Like, it's not as good as these other sets. Like, the beast meter build-up is not as good, and the defenses are pretty low.
Pretty trash, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely worth grabbing the Hunter set in a tournament race.
Especially in a tournament setting, yeah.
I did doing the old version of Old Yarnum Skip.
Yeah, he's been doing it this entire race.
Oh,
I think
yeah, Emery has too.
Emery started off with the new Old Yarnum Skip, but he's been grabbing the lamp, so I'm wondering if he's gonna do that or just stopped out to go for the other skip. And he quits out for the dogs, by the way. So DK, can you explain to me the Beast Blood mechanic?
The Beast Blood pellet?
Uh-huh.
So essentially, the Beast Blood pellets are where the runners get the main source of their damage. You're going to see, as Ahady approaches BSB, he's going to use the Beast Blood pellet and eat it, and a little meter is going to pop up over his head. And basically, the more attacks he does, the more transform attacks specifically, the meter is going to build up. The higher the meter is, the more damage he's going to do, but the more damage he'll also take. So it makes you a little glass cannon, but it's definitely the most important item in the run.
For sure. That was weird. Sorry about that. Give me a second. Sorry, apparently we were kicked out of the Discord for a little bit, but I'm back now. Hopefully you guys can hear me. So anyways, what you just saw Ahady kill is the Bloodstar Beast. Oh no, Emery, that sucks. Yeah, Emery just died. No, Emery didn't die, I'm sorry, but he did die there. Anyways, so Emery's trying to do the new old Yharnam skip. Essentially you jump on these pillars, and
Sorry about that. I got disconnected.
yeah, we both got booted off. I think the bot kicked us out.
Oh, feels bad, man.
Anyways, so Emery, the way that Emery does it, a little bit different from Ahady's version, which Ahady's is more like an out-of-bounds sort of thing. Well, it's more like you roll on this little, like, invisible platform and then you just jump off. But for Emery's version, you actually have to do a plunge on this railing.
Oh, so he died to the skip. I didn't see. I was trying to fix Discord, so it looks like he died to the skip. Yeah.
And he didn't grab the lamp, so it sucks because he's actually been getting that skip.
Oh no! Go down! No, you don't have to run by the dogs. No, you already pulled the lever.
No.
Not realizing he already pulled the lever. Yeah, because normally, I mean, you just reset. You die there, so.
Yeah, you can actually skip this entire area if you already pulled the lever. You can just run straight here.
Yeah, he realizes it as he looks at the door. Ahady going to be forming the, again, one of the newer skips found, the ladder warp cancel glitch, which essentially is going to save his position at that ladder and let him roam around the map freely. As long as he doesn't die or
go through a loading
enter
screen,
a loading screen, yeah.
I swear, every single time Ahady does this glitch though, or this warp, it always looks like he fails it. Because it doesn't look like he actually gets it, but I guess he just recognizes it's oh no.
It's tough for Emery. But yeah, definitely. He stands so close to the ladder, it's hard to like see. Because normally like the visual cue to like know you got the glitch is like you can see your player character basically be sucked into the ladder. But he stands so close, it's hard to see. But yeah, Emery taking another fortunate death to hold the Yharnam skip. Oh, he didn't get the life again.
This is the finals for the losers bracket. So after this, it'll really just be the finals and then. So depending on how things go, it could be after this race. It could be one more race or two more races.
Yeah, because it is double elimination. So Romanticore has not lost a race.
So Romanticore has to lose twice in order for one of these racers to win, but Romanticore only has to beat these racers once, whoever wins this race.
Ahdy's gonna light the lamp now and quit out, and you'll see he's gonna spawn in back down at that ladder that he did the glitch at earlier. Decent little time save. I think it saves like 12 seconds or something like that. Maybe a little more.
Going for this version of the skip.
Did he get the lantern again? I didn't see it.
No, he didn't.
Oh, cool, okay. Thought he was gonna fall to the left side.
As long as that should work.
No!
What? Okay. That felt like commentator curse. My bad. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, skip can be a little tricky sometimes. And he just refuses to get the lantern as well.
Alright, and Ahady picking up the first gem that you actually use in this game. So this game, it uses gems to boost your damage. So oftentimes your stat, like, while they do matter, like the gems just increase it by more. So in total, you can get up to 3 gems, and while this gem is really nice in the beginning, you actually end up upgrading much later.
Yeah, the gold gem is really only used for Parl, essentially.
He hasn't grabbed. Okay, he's gonna go for the
The
old gem of skip. And again, this race is still definitely not over. There's still so much of the game that could happen. It's just gonna be quite the time loss that he's gonna have to.
Yeah, for sure.
Overcome. That almost looked like it failed. I was a little bit afraid that he was gonna fail that. Good, at least he got the old random skip.
And if you're wondering why he grabs the beckoning bell right there in the silencing blank, it's so you need to pick up that item to trigger the item you need to pick up so you can enter the DLC, which he'll grab after he does Parl.
And
the
if
Eye
you're
of the
wondering,
Bloodborne Hunter.
oh sorry.
No,
and if you're wondering why he's killing the doll, it's because he's a big bully, and actually, it's faster to kill the doll. She has a lot of dialogue that you have to cycle through. So killing her is faster, and also in this game, like we talked about a little bit earlier, if you spam X, there's a chance that you can get a gesture, because this game is nice and decides to have
yeah, because why not have some motion controls?
Axis, yeah. There's like motion controls for the gestures, so.
Ahady taking the only intentional death of the figure
Oh, it's intentional? I always figured that it was supposed to be.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's Ahady, so maybe it was unintentional. But no, this gives him access to Parl early, which will allow him to have access to Bolt Paper, which is very useful for the run as well. Emery threw Old Yarnum finally. Marks out because he just refused to take the lantern. And he'll be heading to Amelia. Oh no, go ahead.
I think the bad guy is the only hit that a no-hit runner could have done. There was a moment in time when I think that no-hit runners actually came to this place early.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Alright, and then Parl again, it's another boss that you're just gonna bully down by hitting him all of his limbs and just staggering him.
Yep, staged fight. Should be the same every time and perfect for Maddie.
Like after Gascoigne, the run kind of calms down because most of the bosses are pretty consistent. It's just the next boss that Ahady's gonna fight is actually the one where the run really starts, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, once you get past Gascoigne for sure, you got a few minutes of like breathing room, I'd say, until you get to the woods.
And then after the woods, it's just like one boss after another. While they're mostly consistent, Rom and One Reborn, they can still be kind of scary fights, and you definitely have to be careful.
Spiders can one-shot you at Rom, and One Reborn. It's just One Reborn.
Let's just say One Reborn has claimed like 20 people at this point.
Yeah.
In this tournament alone. I think he is the single-handed most, like, the boss that has killed the most.
For sure. Like, you'd think that would be Shadows, but honestly, it's been One Reborn.
Yeah. Alright, now doing basically the easiest skip in the game. The skip is so easy, it became the dread of any glitchless run. Because it's so mindless that you literally just run up here by instinct and get it with no problem.
Any runner who was run like regular all bosses are 90%, and then like went over to glitchless just to like mess around or something, has definitely reset runs because they've done that skip by mistake. I can definitely vouch for that.
It is it almost seems intentional in how deliberate it is.
Yeah, it's so free. Ahady gonna pick up a couple more twin bloodstone shards, which is gonna allow him to upgrade his weapon from, well, it's +4 right now, but he'll upgrade it to +6.
Yes,
I
+6.
believe. And then
No,
bloodstone
well, I mean
shards from +6 to +9. Yeah.
Yeah, so in this category you go from with a +0 until shadows, and then after from shadows on you go to +4, then you upgrade to a +8 and then a +9. So.
Yeah, and then +10 for the DLC.
Casey unfortunately couldn't make it today, so I'm covering for him.
Emery through Amelia now, so he's gonna do the same thing Eddie did a couple minutes ago. Go to the Dream, do some upgrading and some shopping, then he's going to go off to Yargle and do Parle. Ahady entering Shadows, so let's see how it goes.
Well, since we don't want to jinx the Ahady, let's go over to Emery. So the reason why Emery picks up his armor actually is because of that bad guy. So the bad guy can, certain attacks of his will not deal full damage. So the way that you want to basically die, because you want to die as fast as you possibly can, you want to, that is a scary fight, by the way. Holy crap. Oh my god. He got it,
yeah,
but...
essentially. There's one attack that a bad man can do that cannot one-shot you, that will leave you with like a little bit of HP. So you take off your clothes to like ensure that you basically get one-shotted.
And then you also, in this game, there's a mechanic where if you press the up button, it'll actually give you blood bullets, but it'll take away some of your life. So you do that just for the sake of triggering the bad guy. But good fight from Ahady.
Yeah, that was some
a little
scary
scary at
RNG.
the beginning, yeah.
But handled it very well.
Indeed. And so you'll see Ahady pick up a bunch of insight. So there's a couple ways of getting a rock. There's actually two. So the rock is the upgrade material to get a +10 weapon at the end. There's two rocks in the world. There's one before Wet Nurse, after Mikolash, like during some area. There's another rock in the DLC before Orphan. And then there's you can buy a rock using insight, so his goal is to build up as much insight as possible before the DLC so you can get a +10.
Yeah, it costs 60 insight for the Blood Rock, so definitely gotta stock up on your insight. Ahady now doing the Lunarium key skip. Normally you'd have to run through Bergamorth, I guess that's a... I don't know.
Bergamorth school or whatever.
Yeah, that's cool. Really tiny school, but anyways, you run up there and get the key, but instead we just use the centipede there and jump off his tail right into the boss fight.
Emery died a couple times to the new Yahargul skip.
Old Yarnum.
That one, new old Yarnum skip, my bad. There's too many Y skips.
Yeah.
So in this game...
Essentially this fight, Ron, the whole boss fight is just the spiders. You have a good spider clear.
It looks like it might look like the big spider is the boss, but it's actually the little spiders.
They do a ton of damage. Can easily one-shot you with some moves.
But Ahady actually had a pretty good clearing, yeah. You do 3 hits, and then you do another 3 hits, and then after this you do an R2 to stagger. And then after this, she'll warp away, but you can get some damage. So all you need is like
2 or 3 hits.
Yeah. And then it's really nice though, the warps are actually pretty calculated. So they're consistent and you know where she's gonna spawn.
Yeah, so we use the moonlight to kind of know where Rom's gonna be for phase 3, so we can run up there and just instantly hit her off the spawn, kill her. And then we also know where the queen's gonna spawn too, so we can run there before she spawns and get the insta warp there to skip the cutscene, which is definitely a nice time save. Now Ahady gonna... Oh, go ahead, dude.
Oh, no, go ahead. I was just gonna say...
Yeah, he's gonna light the lantern here, and then he's gonna run through and pick up the Upper Cathedral Lord key, which gives him access to 2 optional bosses later.
Would you say that the Upper Cathedral Ward key opens up the Upper Cathedral?
Yeah, I think it's safe to say. There's also another key in the game that once he opens the Upper Cathedral Ward, he'll be getting the Orphanage key, which, and guess what door that opens?
You can't tell me that it opens up the orphanage.
Sure does.
Blasphemy.
Emery entering Parl now, which again, as long as you get the first 2 hits, the stagger.
Yeah, the initial stagger is probably the word. There is a chance that if you run a little too fast, you can actually whiff an R1. And, but at this time, like, their timing is pretty spot on for that boss, so it's very hard for them to get it memed by this boss.
Yeah, for sure. Now, one of the other most, let's say, I don't know, inconsistent skips. It's consistent, but it definitely is inconsistent as well. I mean, that doesn't really make sense, but
it's very timing and
sometimes, as you see, Ahady gets the YOLO version, but sometimes you can just like glitch right through the floor and you don't get collision and you just die.
And he made that look really easy, but it's actually much
It's
more
so
impressive.
precise.
Yeah, like, it's really impressive what he did, because the way that he did it, there's 2 enemies that can actually aggro onto you. So the guy that he saw that could shoot you off, and then there's another guy on the side that you can't even see until he, like, approaches you. So, but he got it first try, and really impressive.
Yeah, it's a really nice time save getting it first try.
Mm-hmm.
Not having to kill those enemies you put up.
Emery gonna go for shadows now? Or at least for the shadows section. And then Ahady picking up one of the gems. This is one of the gems that's actually going to last him for the remainder of the run. And it's just going to replace one of the other gems that he has on.
Yeah. Gonna take off the gold gem we got from killing Amelia.
Alright, and here we go. One Reborn. Yeah. So, One Reborn, depending on his RNG, he can be either one of the easiest bosses that you fight, or one of the most challenging. It all depends on the fight. If you notice, there's like ladies shooting fire at him. So, depending on how often they shoot the fire, and how many of them shoot the fire at the same time. And then One Reborn, of course, has the rain.
Dropping corpses on you. Yeah, but very clean fight from Ahady.
Very nice fight.
Yeah, he's been definitely the worst boss in this tournament so far.
I think we're all winning Spacey, just from watching this race. And one thing that we forgot to mention that Emery's going to do in a little bit. So, the first gem that he picks up by Alfred, or one of the first gems that he picks up by Alfred, to deal maximum damage, you actually have to be full health. So even though he might have like a sliver of health loss, it's ideal to start the fight with full health, just so that you deal the maximum amount of damage, especially at the beginning. And then of course they swap out that gem after Wet Nurse, so
yeah,
full health at that point isn't really as much of a concern.
And so Ahady, he took the lecture hall lantern there. He's going to be coming back to that area in a little bit.
Good opening from Emery so far. Yeah, much different. Much different.
Kind of nice when they spread out like that in the opening. I mean, you either want them to group all together so you can hit all 3 of them with the first 4 attacks, or you want them to spread out like that. So,
as long as he doesn't get much Stretch Armstrong, he should be should be good. Yeah.
No Stretch Armstrongs or no running attacks, and yeah, it should be clean. GG.
Yeah, and then this last guy is kind of a joke. If you the reason why we kill him last is because if you press R1, he will just dodge around and he will never do a single attack. But a very clean fight, very nice fight from Emery.
Ahady gonna get 32 strength and 25 skill.
I think Ahady is doing like 10 bit route.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's running 10-bit.
Going for the YOLO. Oh, never
Ooh.
mind. This doesn't even try. Alright, now we're getting introduced to the frenzy mechanic. Probably the best mechanic in this game.
Yeah. So essentially that bar above his head right now that you see is filling up. Well, you already saw some of his health got drained, but once that bar, if the bar fills up all the way, you'll see the words frenzy actually proc up on the screen and just take away, I think it's like 70% of your health or something.
I thought it was 80, but you might be right.
80? Yeah, 80 sounds right. It just pretty much takes away all of your health. And there's also like, kind of like a bleed effect that sometimes it'll just drain your health as well. So it's so annoying to deal with, and it's not going to be the last time we see it in the run either.
And just as an FYI, that's actually the nerfed frenzy, because in the old patch, I think it used to take away like 99% or 90 to 99% of your health. It used to take like you were literally left with like 1 HP most of the time. But they nerfed that, which is nice, I guess.
Yeah.
The annoying thing though is that while you are getting frenzied and maybe the frenzy hasn't procced yet, you get sometimes like these swords that come out of you, and that just deals damage on its own without actually being the full frenzy itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ahady picking up the blue elixirs, which basically serve as the hidden body of this game. So this game doesn't have a magic system kind of like the Dark Souls series does, so you oftentimes just use items to simulate the magic system. But it's definitely not as viable as in like the Souls franchise. Magic is good in this game.
Approaching Mikolash, which is Mikolash pretty consistent as well. Phase 1, there's one of 3 things you can do. You want him to run to the right away into the room where you fight him in. We'll see what happens.
And he didn't pick up the... I mean, it's not like you need it. Mikolash is definitely one of the more consistent bosses, but still. If he wants
the
to,
extra pellet, yeah.
No, not the extra pellet, the elevator.
Oh, the shortcut, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he's gotten the shortcut at all this tournament, though.
No.
So Miko doing the worst of the possible 3 openings he could have done, running all the way around down the stairs.
I'm getting one of the puppets in the room. So what you essentially do is normally what the game wants you to do is run into that room and kill him in the room. There's 2 puppets in there though, so what you can do is bait him out of that room. But sometimes when the puppet goes in, when that other puppet that you saw go into that room goes in there, like Mikolash will see you in that hallway and he won't come out. So then you have to chase him back in there, and it's just a waste of time. But Ahady did it really well, so.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello. Oh, hey, Casey. Welcome.
Apologies.
No problem, man. How you doing?
I'm okay. Snooze button got pushed to 1 too many times, but I'm here now. I'm so sorry, newbie.
That's fine.
Thanks for hopping in.
Yeah, no problem.
How's the race going thus far?
So Emery unfortunately died. What, like
3 or 4 times to old Yarnum skip before he decided to, yeah.
3 or 4 times.
Without the lamp either. Oh, Ahady.
Wow. I honestly don't know if Miko just iframed that L1
Here,
right
I'll see
there.
that. I'll see what happened.
But...
I can just clip it really quickly.
Oh my god, that was...
Yarnum skip?
Yeah, and Emery also had like 4th try for a skip. So
feels bad, man. Well, he just got a nice
Emery a little
chance
behind.
to catch up.
But yeah, I mean, it's
and
definitely
he didn't take the
pretty...
elevator either. So let's see. Okay, so what happened was he had poise through that, and he just got one shot by the tentacle.
I mean, you do an R1 L1 attack, and like Miko will stagger. Like it's, I honestly, yeah, I don't know why he didn't stagger. That's that's a meme.
That is a tragic one. All right, guys. So welcome to the three-person commentator race.
I mean, I can leave if you want me to.
No, it's fine. Do you want to stay, and do you want me to step out?
I mean, if you're okay with that, I would still want to commentate.
Sure. I'll let you take over then.
You're the man, newbie.
So, Nubisaurus, the person on the left of the title, I'm going to be stepping out, and I'll let Casey Smurf take over.
Casey Saurus Rex here.
Casey Saurus Rex.
Well, thank you, newbie, for stepping out today and stepping in.
Well, thank you guys for hopping in for the commentary. I'll see you guys in the chat.
Alright.
Bye, guys.
Hello, guys. I am Casey Smurf. I am a piece of crap with a crappy alarm. And joined by my main man, DK. You guys all know. How's it going, DK?
Pretty good, dude. Pretty good. Welcome.
Looks like we may get a little bit of a closer race.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Ahdy's definitely still probably a couple minutes ahead, but good chance to gain some ground right here for Emery.
Yeah. So
wow, Ahady taking another death, unfortunately, on the elevator, and he's gonna have to actually recall that elevator back down too. So
yeah, going back to that elevator once those dudes are aggroed is kind of monk-ass. Emery not getting the stagger. Ooh.
Finally getting it and dodging the puke as well. Really nice.
Insane rolls. Look at this. One hits. Cycle, one reborn.
Beautiful.
Didn't even have to go to the back leg. So now they're basically going to be in the same spot. Not quite. Emery's still got to go back, +8 his weapon, level up again, and put in some gems. But he's made up quite some time. As far as RTA, I'm sure these guys explained earlier about IGT being used in this game in game time. But
did he explain that? Good thing you're here, Casey.
If they didn't, this game goes in in-game time, which is basically everything that's in the game, not including loading screens or quit outs. So with the tournament setup, they're using an RTA timer, but they're not pausing it if they quit out. They're not pausing it if they die. So the time above their head doesn't necessarily affect who's completely ahead. Yeah. So yeah, at the end of the game, the game's keeping track for you the entire time. So once you quit out after killing the last boss, you'll see your in-game time. Ahady making his way back to Mikolash. Emery entering the Nightmare Frontier. It looks like he has a cocktail, so he won't have to quit out here.
Yeah. Hang on to that cocktail smartly. Yeah. Save some RTA.
Ahady not losing too many important echoes there, so it's actually okay. So he's gonna roll out.
Luckily, just leveled up before.
There's a Rapid Frenzy guy right there. He's just quitting out. Smart decision, honestly.
Yeah, there it goes. Yeah, definitely. Doesn't want to die again. Don't blame him.
He didn't need those echoes back. The run back is like over a minute, and so there's a guy with a blow dart trying to rapidly poison you, and then there's a guy with an axe that's out for your butt. So smart quit out.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, actually, funny thing in Bloodborne, I guess, if an enemy has your blood echoes and you quit out, the echoes will actually drop on the ground.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know. I had a suspicion, but like that kind of I saw it happen right there, so that kind of just confirmed it for sure for me.
Oh.
Like, yeah.
Today I learned. So now Emery leveled up, and he'll be making his way to the Nightmare Frontier. So still behind, since Ahady's already entering the boss fight again. But Emery with a nice little chance to make up some ground there, at least as far as RTA.
Yeah, and there's going to be other opportunities as well.
Oh yeah, this thing's far from over. We got two really good runners, though. Alright. Ahady going to be a little short on pellets here, so he's going to have to just do some different routing after he kills Mikolash. He's going to be 1 pellet short from being able to go to Amygdala right away, so we'll probably see early woods. Did Emery go for the new skip? Is that why he died so many times?
Yeah, he went for the new old Yarnum skip and he didn't take the lantern like 3 or 4 times, so...
Yeah. Fool me 3 or 4 times, shame on you, Kappa?
Definitely a pretty significant time loss, but...
Yeah, that's a long.
He's had some pretty solid fights since then. The Shadows fight was really good, and Braum was good.
Nice. Good Swedish RNG here for Ahady. Gonna block Mikolash in, and hopefully make quick work of him. Ahady he didn't even pop his second pellet yet. I think he's still going off his first.
Yeah.
There it is.
So, opting to do the one pellet Miko.
Speed. Oop, he's got a puppet on his tail. GG, Ahady.
Nice.
Nice recovery.
Which makes sense too, because normally the first pellet runs out because you have to pick up the blood chunks and go kill that wandering nightmare. The first time entering the boss fight. So the second time he was able to carry over that beast meter into phase 2, and he got the good RNG. So
he's
very
actually
smart
not
play
gonna
by
have to get
Ahady.
an extra pellet either, because he
very
still has
smart
2
play.
left. One pellet Miko fight, reminiscent of the great Amelia skip route. For anybody in chat that likes any percent.
Romanticore would be proud.
Oh
no! Oh my goodness.
The Ahady Crow Dogs.
Luckily, he's got the lantern right there,
so
it's
right
not
there.
too big of a deal, but
10 or
definitely
15
frustrating.
seconds.
Definitely frustrating.
He needs to get those echoes back for sure. Emery gonna enter the Mick Tyson. I like to call this boss Mick Tyson because I have a recurring joke with Emery about I always wish Mick Tyson upon him. But basically, Mikolash only does 1 attack in phase 1, which is the Augur of Ebrietas, Ebritus, whatever you want to call it. And after that, in phase 2, he likes to act like he's playing Mike Tyson's Punch Out. So I like to call him Mick Tyson.
It can be very hard to deal with when he's just spamming it. Plus, it's like honestly like a 3-shot.
Yeah.
It just staggers you to death. And that puppet right there. So.
Ahady going down to pick up the last gem. Well, the second to last gem. The third one they pick up on the way to Wet Nurse. But this is they get an 18% in your Hargul you saw them pick up. They get an 18% down here, and then they get a 15% one on the run to Wet Nurse. So for the final damage being 51% more. So that's one of the 18% ones. Kind of scary, honestly. You could die down there more often than you think.
Yeah.
Ahady got good Winter Lantern RNG. The Brain Lady's just singing a song to frenzy you. So sometimes they're like literally right together up against the gem, and it's just you either play the waiting game or you run in and what is this? What is Mikolash doing?
I honestly don't know what just happened. Did he get Swedish RNG? Sometimes Miko's AI derps out.
Yeah, Miko just stood there.
Yeah, that was okay.
He gets the plunge. Let's see if he goes for the cookie jar strat.
Shoots him
got
twice.
it. So if you hit Mikolash 3
Watch
times,
out for Call Beyond. Yep.
If you can clip, as long as you clip Mikolash on the plunge, our main Dutchman, who's returned to speedrunning, by the way, I'm happy to say, giant cookie jar. Basically just found if you clip Mikolash on the 3rd hit, he's going to aggro. So you can actually shoot him twice, as long as you clip him on the fall down. So you saw Emery was able to get 2 gunshots off in the hallway. And it'll actually aggro Miko to you if you miss the plunge, as long as you get a piece of him. And it'll bring him back out to the hallway. So GG by Emery. A little scary. Because if he gets inside the room, it's like 40-second time loss. Swedish RNG.
Entering Wet Nurse.
Swedish RNG is whenever you whenever Mikolash takes the fast way. Oh god, Ahady.
The triple slash opening. Dodges it nice though. Gets out of there.
The DK special right there.
Yeah, pretty much.
I saw DK get that so much. But yeah, this could be the final boss in an any percent. She's kind of underwhelming in my opinion. Don't let that fool
not too
you.
scary of a fight.
She can still mess you up, but basically stay behind her. Get your true meter north going. Use your bolt paper. Your weapon's pretty strong at this point. It's +8 with a good 18% gem. He gets the teleport special. So Emery not as getting near as good Winter Lantern RNG, and he dies. So he got the gem, but he died. But that's 57,000 souls or echoes, whatever you want to think of them as. So Emery he's not gonna opt to go back down there. So he's gonna miss out on some levels. Ahady making quick work of Murgo's Wet Nurse.
Yeah, very good fight. Wet Nurse not too scary. She did a couple attacks, like you saw, the triple slash and Nightmare phase, which Ahady made such quick work of her. She didn't even have a chance to even think about going into it.
Yeah.
But I think Emery here will just have to pick up. There's 2 King Coldbloods right after the gem he's going to pick up, so he'll probably pick up those to try to make up for a couple levels. Still not going to get him to where he would like to be in terms of his level ups, but it's better than nothing.
It's 20,000 free ones that are literally like 2
Yeah.
seconds out of the way. So, but yeah, like DK was talking about the nightmare phase. She staggers every 10 hits with beast meter going, or you can iframe it. So it's a runner from the no hit community. I don't even remember who, but a runner found out. Ahady going +9 with his weapon, by the way, going 15, 18, 18. Then he'll make his way to the lecture hall for the lecture hall skip. But as soon as she casts the nightmare phase, she kind of raises her hands. It does a purple cloud, and if you iframe it by basically dodging twice at a precise time, that will cancel it as well. But if you don't cancel it, you're dealing with 45 seconds of a dark room and clones, and unless she's at really low health, it's kind of a suicide mission to try to kill her.
Yeah.
So I had you getting 3rd try lecture hall skip.
So still saving time.
Yeah. This is a skip where you basically just use the corner of a pillar to launch yourself over the corner of a wall, and it saves 15 seconds if you get it first try. I personally enjoy the skip. I'm crazy for that, but it's ruined a lot of good runs, because if you don't get it first try, sometimes it takes like 15 or 20.
It feels really good when you get it like 1st or 2nd try, but it's definitely very risky to do in runs.
Absolutely. Emery is basically staying behind Murgo's wet nurse. She can do the triple swipe from behind too, which is mess you up.
Kind of hard to tell too when she's going for it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you think she does the attack she just did, where she like extends all of her hands out, but she's actually doing the slashes.
So Ahady just did the Nightmare Frontier skip, found by Dan Koister, the same guy who found the ladder warp glitch they did earlier. GG by Emery as well. He'll go +9 his weapon and head to where Ahady is now. So basically, the Nightmare Frontier skip is you're designed to run through the whole Nightmare Frontier area, which is pretty huge, and then come to this elevator at the end, which is right before the boss. What Dan found is if you fall from the top of the top of the elevator to the bottom, you die from lethal fall damage. What Dan found is there's a tiny rock that protrudes just a little bit lower than the ground you can step out on. It looks like your character's floating, but if you ever move it behind your character, you're floating on a tiny rock. And from that rock, if you do a gesture to slide down on that rock and quit out, whenever your character spawns back in, you take fall damage from that rock instead of the top. And for some reason, that rock's only about, even though it's just a tad bit lower, it's only about 50% of your health. So it saves a ton of time. It saves you from running through a poison area. It's really
not even not even that hard to pull off, to be honest.
Absolutely not. Ahady just did the Ivan dollar strat found by a French runner called Ivan. Basically, you used to have to run up against the fog wall for Amygdala, wait for her to turn around and jump, and then it was a little bit more precise because you could mess up. You could do a hit too early or a hit too late. What Ivan found is you could just do a charged R2 right away. Doesn't do any damage to her, but it'll immediately stagger her head. 5th try there for Emery, GG. But as soon as she drops her head, it's pretty much GG. So it's a really nice, really free boss strat.
Yeah, once honestly you get through Wet Nurse, and well, honestly, once you get through Lecture Hall Skip, you have a little breathing room for the run. The next few segments aren't too bad at all.
So you notice Ahady back in familiar territory. So basically he's going to do an optional boss, but with a +9 weapon, really good levels, and OP gems. So he's got a +9, which is the final you can get before a +10. Captain Obvious here. And then he, like I said, he's doing a boss that I think they expected you to encounter first thing in the game. You do this boss even before Father Gascoigne.
But, you can actually summon Father Gascoigne for this fight.
Yeah, that's right. Summons, by the way.
Yeah.
And you come back, and if you do the if you do it correctly, you'll kill him in 6 hits. So. 5 and 6. Rip Cleric Beast. Still hasn't had a chance to kill anybody in the tourney. Cleric's Beast day will come one day. That day will not be today, unfortunately.
No, I don't think. I mean, if that ever happens, not all bosses are out. Maybe BL4, like maybe, but even that.
Yeah, it'd be hard.
Just in the routes.
Emery going for Ivandala now. Basically pops his pellet at a specific landmark on the map. Charged R2, staggers her, 4 hits on the head as she falls, and then with the stats they have 2 hits on the hand will finish her off. 1, 2, 6 hits. Very nice by both runners.
Wonder if Ahady is going to do the wood skip. We'll see here in a second.
Yeah.
One of the newer skips found by this Hex.
This Hex, Gasm, our other favorite Canadian besides Ahady. Hex is notorious because he doesn't run the game, but he comes up with really awesome strats. But he also finds not so awesome skips. I mean, they save time, so they're awesome from the speedrunner
They're awesome. They look really awesome too. Yeah,
but
they're nice little time saves, but they are execution based for sure.
He is going for it. So basically, he uses the graves to get out of bounds, and then he's going to fall into this cave out of bounds versus running up and around the doggos, and he gets it. You can get stuck in the rocks. You can die from fall damage if you do it incorrectly, but that was the grave skip done by this Hex. Meanwhile, Emery going to make his way to Clarities now. Kind of a slower point in the run, honestly, right now. Yeah, it's a newer skip for sure. Couple months now.
Yeah, probably like 4 months or so, 5 months maybe.
Ahady made it look easy, but you can actually get stuck in the graves, and you have to just completely mark back out, which loses you about 25 seconds.
Yeah, it's very easy to mess that skip up. I mean, getting stuck in the graves, you finally get out of bounds, and the fall is very precise as well. Like Casey said, you can die from fall damage or get stuck out of bounds. So
yeah. So Ahady going to be making his way back to Yosefka's clinic where it all started. You can come here as soon as the blood moon is out, which basically means Ram is dead, and you can come back into the clinic. You notice they've been picking up the 1/3 of the umbilical cords. They picked up one in the old hunter's workshop. They got one from killing Wet Nurse, and then they have to come here to get the 3rd one. You pop all 3 umbilical cords. Each gives you 3 insight and allows you to unlock the final boss. And also picking up the Canehurst summons, which is an Ahady special. If you ever read his bio on Twitch, he's going to use this to access an optional area later in the run. And we will see. We may need chat's help, all 331 of you on my screen. We may need a little bit of Twitch help to see if we can get Ahady to Logarius, because he's a boss, but Ahady can't ever seem to find him.
Yeah, rumor has it as he still hasn't found him. So
yeah, he still hasn't. He's 3rd place in the world in this category, but he's just lucky because he never runs the game offline. He always has someone to help him. So Emery taking off his shirt makes me think he's probably going to go for Grave Skip as well.
Yeah,
it helps
probably.
you just notice your character a little bit better. Notice where your position is.
I think I'll work back to the dream now and head to Upper Cathedral Ward and eventually use that 30 cane that we picked up in the very, very beginning of the run.
Emery takes a little bit of weird. It's weird, kind of weird pathing to get up on the graves. He gets a 2nd try. And let's see if he gets the drop. This is the more precise part. And GG by M.
Nice.
GG.
Heal though, dude. There you go.
And this guy can still troll you. This huge giant right here. It's like a kind of a swipe attack that hits you while you're behind him, and it'll definitely one-shot you. So, GG. Ahady, like you said, making his way to the Upper Cathedral Ward now that they got the key in the Yahargul. This is the final optional area. Well, there's one more after the DLC, but these are the final 2 bosses before the downloadable content, which has the best bosses in all of Souls, in my opinion. The DLC is so good.
For sure.
So
honestly, the DLC is the best part about running all bosses, for sure.
Yeah, it's extremely, extremely fun. So Ahady opting to quit out there. There's 2 guys that'll try to shoot you, and basically quitting out in every Souls game and Bloodborne besides DS2 because DS2 will reset enemy position. So you notice he took a cold blood there. That's what he's going to use to get his weapon to +10, because that's the more YOLO route. They don't have any echoes right now, and they completely marked out of Emery22's fight because they don't have any bold hunter's marks left. So he had to pick up that cold blood to ascend his weapon to +10. So just quit out, reset the enemy position. Takes a couple seconds for them to aggro. Easy peasy.
These guys in the bridge come up too can be very scary. So let's
Absolutely.
see if he does. Sometimes, yeah, let's see if he does another
Gets the quit out menu ready, and then he'll try to go between them. Easy
It's
peasy.
nice.
Those guys. I don't even know what to say about those guys. I was about to say something that wasn't speed gaming appropriate about those guys.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
hate
you guys
those
can see the
guys.
RTA timer right now. Obviously, the timer is probably a little ahead than what it would normally be. Probably get to this area like 45, maybe 50 minutes
Yeah.
with quit outs and stuff. Losing a run there to those guys on the bridge, that's hard to take.
So pulling out his threaded cane, gonna slap this brain sucker on the left hand. This strat's actually pretty consistent as long as you get the left hand, and then he'll R2 L1. You're intended, we call this orphanage key skip, because you're intended to run around the building to the other side and kill that guy with 2 other brain suckers along the way. But with a jumping R2 with the threaded cane, you can aggro him to you, and then you can just finish him off through the door, thus getting the orphanage key. So really nicely executed by Ahady. Gonna pick up a badge here. That Cosmic Eye Watcher badge he just picked up. That's actually the only badge in the game that allows you to buy Beast Blood pellets, which you guys have been explained are pretty much the most OP thing in the game. They allow you to do massive amounts of damage, even at PL4, which is minimum level, and you can only be bought with Insight, and they pick that up so they can buy enough Beast Blood pellets for the end game.
Celestial Emissary. One of those bosses, again, like Rom, where you gotta clear the little guys first before you kill the actual real boss.
Yeah, unless you're
There's a yellow strat
Irish.
where, yeah, there's a yellow strat where you can just go straight for the actual boss, but it's pretty risky in a tournament setting.
Yeah. 6 hits, basically get a full beast meter off the little ones, pretty free. Dying to Emissary doesn't feel good, but it can happen.
Yeah, it's...
So Ahady popping his insight, now entering the Emery22 fight. She's sleeping whenever you come in, so you basically build up some beast meter on her tentacle to wake her up, and then with how OP your damage is at this point, and this just shows you the Beast Blood pellets. You can even do this on DL4. You're like 200 damage away from staggering her head, but in this, as long as it's timed precisely, build beast meter, wait till she wakes up, and then you can immediately stagger her head, and the fight's pretty much over. So Ahady gets it.
Very important to wait for her health bar to pop up.
Yeah, you can stagger her
otherwise,
early. So she tries to charge up for phase 2 at 50% health. You notice right now for Ahady, but his damage is so high that to kill her before she ever has the chance to charge up. So GG, nice segment by Ahady, and he'll be making his way to the DLC now. He actually has to go into the DLC early because he needs enough insight to buy the Blood Rock, which is what gets your weapon to +10 in this game, the highest they can go. There is a physical one you can pick up before Wet Nurse down by the Brain Ladies where they got the gem, but it's about 50 seconds out of the way. So we just opted to buy one with insight. It costs 60 insight to get it, so goes back to the Cathedral Ward. He'll get grabbed here by the invisible Avicula, and this will transport him to the DLC.
Emery making his way to Emissary now.
Yeah. See if Emery goes for YOLO Emissary, as we call it.
I asked him last night, actually.
What'd he say?
He said maybe.
Classic Emery answer.
I was memeing him pretty hard. I was like, you gonna do YOLO Rom?
Hey, Alma did YOLO BSB in the tournament. I think that's the highlight.
Romanticore did YOLO Emissary, I think, his first race as well.
Yeah, Emery opting to kill the little ones. Probably just smart at this point.
Yeah, definitely. Don't want to die here.
So Ahady got what he needed, took his weapon to +10, which is as high as it goes, picked up enough Beast Blood pellets for the DLC, and ascended his weapon to +10. So his weapon is now maxed out, and his levels are capped a while ago. So
yeah, and he's got all of his gems in too. So
this is it. So this is, you'll notice things kind of look familiar. This is the Hunter's Nightmare, and it's kind of a nightmare version of the regular game. Really cool concept. So here you're basically going into Grand Cathedral. You notice it looks like the run to Amelia. There's some really similar things in the DLC to the base game. Not all of it, but at least the beginning area is similar.
Yeah, the parallels are really good. I mean, they want you to make those connections, and
yeah,
I don't know, it just feels really cool running through it, especially like the first time you see it. But
it's
Ahady picking up the eye pendant, which is going to give him access to the research hall after he kills the next boss he faces.
GG by Emery, really clean segment as well. So now Emery will be making his way to the DLC as well.
Yeah, it was a tough start for Emery with Sewer Skip and Alderanum Skip there, but it's had a very solid run since then. Only about a segment behind.
Yeah, basically catching up to the same. Well, not catching up, but they're going to be on the same segment here.
Yeah, still got a level up and all that stuff, but definitely made up a lot of time.
So Ahady going to do a quit out here. Once again, reset enemy position. Then when he spawns in, he can just kill these two dudes in the door and get through with no problem. So I am opting to level up here. Can't see what his stats are. It looks like 26-35, I think is what I saw.
Yeah, 34 or 35, something like that.
So with running with 10 vit, you should have 33 strength, 35 skill, but since he died and lost some echoes, he won't quite get there, but his damage will still be more than adequate for the DLC with the Beast Blood pellets.
Yeah,
this part,
for sure.
There's no YOLOing this part. Every runner blue elixirs here, mainly because of this area. This hunter right here before the ladder, he'll still shoot you. He can triple shoot you and still kill you. Very rarely. But you basically get past all those bloodsuckers, dogs,
knock you off the ladder.
And that hunter, yeah. Try getting on that ladder without being blue elixired. It's insanely difficult. So Ahady going to be entering what's probably my favorite fight casually in the game. You make really quick work of him because he's a beast. Limbs get staggered. So there's no RNG really involved in Phase 1. Phase 2, you could still die. But Ludwig the Accursed. Really, really fun boss.
Yeah, for sure.
Stagger the leg. Stagger the front leg. Stagger the head. Do enough damage for Phase 2. And now Phase 2, you want him to put his sword in the ground. And GG Ahady.
Yeah.
Textbook of Ludwig. So Ludwig can do some attacks at the beginning of Phase 2. He doesn't always put his sword in the ground, so that's where the RNG comes into play. But really nice stuff there by Ludwig, and really nicely played by Ahady.
And this is where the eye pendant that Ahady picked up in the beginning of the DLC that you just saw Emery pick up is going to come into play. It's going to trigger this elevator and bring him up to the research hall.
You wouldn't be able to advance without it.
Sends the elevator back down because there's actually an item down there that we're going to have to pick up. Ahdy's going to actually opt to pick it up right now.
So when he marks out, that just sends the elevator to the bottom, basically. So he's going to pick up Lawrence's skull right now to fight that giant beast that he grabbed the eye pendant out of. You have to have his skull in order to trigger the fight, so The skull is hidden at the bottom of the elevator, so Ahady's going to pick that up now. That way, we would only take the research hall lamp that he just took, go kill the next couple bosses, and then mark back. Ooh, stored roll? Nope. Okay, that spot is notorious for stored rolls. He didn't have any souls to lose, but if he didn't pick up the skull, there's 2 hunters right there, and you have to do it all over again. But yeah, so opting to get the skull now, basically just so that he can take an additional lamp before Orphan. Pretty smart for a tournament.
Definitely. It's a long run back to Orphan.
Absolutely. Gonna do another quit out strat here to reset the patient's AI. You're gonna quit out here at the top of the stairs, and then for some reason when you come back in, it takes 2 or maybe a couple seconds for the enemies to notice you, for their AI to basically come to life. So this is a nice strat found by another Speed Souls member called Nims38, the Lothric legend himself of DS3, but he briefly ran Bloodborne, and this is a strat he found, which is really nice. Makes it so you don't have to use a blue elixir here. So Emery, ooh, not getting the arms. Okay, there you go. He gets the arm stagger. Staggers the head.
Oh wow, 1 hit.
I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. Okay, so Emery
getting a good RNG in phase 2 as well. Visceral should finish him off. GG.
So this is the scary part, in my opinion. This patient here, this gumball head as I like to call him, this dude hits so hard. He can one-shot you with like 20 bit, I think. He has a delayed attack that's designed to catch panic rolls, which is what
22
Miyazaki
for sure.
loves.
He's definitely one-shotted me at 22 bit, so...
22, okay, even better. So Ahady gets by him. I'm gonna go by the rats here, try to jump, and Emery found this. He gets it. You jump and push the lever and get an animation cancel, and the rat, their AI just derp out and they don't follow you. So Ahady gonna drop down the research hall. Yeah, just makes it really so the rat doesn't follow you. Locks off Dash, the invisible hunter, and now he'll be entering the Twitch chat. Insert Twitch chat here. First time joke, original joke. The living failures. Emery opting to pick up the skull now.
Smart,
my story about Miyazaki's childhood trauma. This is my theory, guys.
Oh.
It's probably. I'll say that for this fight.
Ahady getting bad RNG off the opener. Normally you want one of the failures off the opener to do an attack that you parry, which lets you build up beast meter, you kill him for free, and then you just start farming failures over and over, but...
He should be okay now.
Failures AI, dude,
farm him. Basically, you just farm this one. The one on the other side will spawn after a couple times, but you just continue to farm this one. Yeah, so Emery making his way up to the quit out now in the research hall. But yeah, my theory about Miyazaki. You guys know Hidetaka Miyazaki, president of FromSoft, the mind behind all these awesome games. Ahady gonna quit out here to retain Beast Meter, and then when he comes back in, he can start Maria. The Beast Meter goes until it's gone, so you can pop another pellet on top of that, and he'll basically start the fight with insane damage. Yeah, my theory is Miyazaki grew up in the slums of Japan. We do know that much. So I think if you've noticed the dogs games in Soulsborne are really, really bad, I have a theory that Miyazaki was bullied by neighborhood dogs. So, newbie ass. So that's just my theory. There's something about it with the bunk bed and panic rolls. I can't remember what it was. Miyazaki loves roll catching, and he loves Emery dying to the patience there. Really unfortunate. So he's gonna have to send his way. He's gonna have to do that quit out again. He'll start at the bottom of the research hall. Meanwhile, Ahady fighting Maria. Fun fight up until phase 3, in my opinion. But around 60%, 70%, she adds blood to her weapon. You're dealing so much damage. And then phase 3, she adds blood and fire and really unfair hitboxes. But like you can parry Maria, and if you're like a millisecond late, you'll parry the boss and then still get hit by the lingering fire hitbox.
But Addie gets her into the corner, and once she gets into a corner, honestly, that's where you want to have her. You can just repeatedly stagger her, and it's GG.
Yeah, he was on a bunk bed going downstairs, and a dog dropped him off the ladder. He had to panic roll away from the dog. Newbie knows my lore better than I do. Thanks, Newbie, for that Miyazaki lore. So really nice by Ahady. Gonna make his way to the final area, the downloadable content, which is the fishing hamlet. And really cool area. Unfortunately, we won't see most of it because there's a nice slope quit out coming up. In all the Souls games, you can do what's called a slope quit out. The slope isn't recognized as ground, basically. So when you go down a slope, as soon as your feet touch the ground, the game takes a second to realize, oh crap, you need to die because you just took lethal fall damage. So what happens is, you go down the slope, as soon as your feet touch the ground, but before the game realizes you should be dead, you quit out, and then you'll spawn at the bottom of the slope. So, except DS2, of course. DS2. But he's gonna be taking a lamp here for safety. Ahaddy's gonna be fighting Orphan legit.
As you can see, it's been a long run back since that elevator in the research hall, so that's why he picked up the skull early, and so he can grab this lantern right here.
Yeah, you'd have to run all the way through it. So he takes the lamp for safety, and now he's going to perform a slope quit out to push him out of bounds, and then he's going to roll into a cave, which happens to put you right at the Orphan of Crossfire. So he'll roll, or no, he just walks off. You see how he went on the slope of the rock? And he quit out as soon as his feet touched the ground.
Emery getting the failure attack opener, so he's able to parry, get that initial beast meter. A bit of RNG and failures. Once the second one spawns over, he can definitely like run up and spam magic at you, or
He can
they can summon the meteors, and yeah.
So Ahady getting ready to fight the Orphan of Kos. Really, really fun boss. And it's basically going to be double backstabs. Why double backstabs, you may ask? When you backstab an enemy, they're staggered. They take around 50% more damage. So instead of taking a visceral, which does a lot of damage with the skill they have, but slow, you just do a backstab. Yeah, it builds a ton of beast meter and it's really fast. So this boss can go into phase 2 around 50%, but a lot of the time, with how much damage you're doing, you can even get a phase 1 kill. So you notice Ahady trying to use an item he doesn't have. We're actually debating the game because Orphan's input reading, or reading what you're putting in your inputs, and he's going, oh, you're using an item, I have time to jump over you. But you're actually doing it on purpose to bait his jump attack. So here's phase 2. Ahady doing transform attack, charged R2 into a transform, and this should be GG. Beautiful fight by Ahady. Early phase 2. A beautiful fight.
It's a very nice strat though, with the backstab L1, and then you just backstab again when he does that early transformation.
Made Orphan look like a piece of cake.
Yeah, pretty much. Not easy to do at all.
Meanwhile, Emery fighting Maria now. With that true meter north. Ahady gonna insight dump and get rid of his insight, because the more insight you have, the less your beast meter. So he's now going to make his way back to the beginning of the DLC to fight Lawrence. Emery's going to have to see some phase 3 here.
Yeah.
Phase 3 is very Monka-esque. Hopefully it's just one attack. See the fire coming off her sword.
GG.
Very, very nice. So, really nice DLC. Really unfortunate meme there for Emery to die to the patients, but let's root both these guys on, man. This is, from what I've seen, it's been a nice race. This is to go to the finals of this race. These guys have both kicked, for lack of a better term, keep it PG-13. These guys have both kicked major ass in this tournament. And I think Emery's 6th place, Ahady's 3rd place. So these are two of the best runners in this game. So it's really nice to be able to see them race. So this is, he's going to use a strat here found by an English runner, Falcon House. basically another beast. So what he's going to do is Lawrence can go to his final phase, his Michael Phelps swimming phase, around like 40% health. What he's going to do is basically just stagger the limbs to the point where by the time Lawrence tries to transform, he has hardly any health left. So notice he staggers the legs. Lawrence is just going to back up. He's just going to keep punishing. Like Lawrence can transform right now, but Ahady's going to break both of his hands. Oh, he only chooses to break one hand. Okay.
Yeah, with the stats he runs, it says you can just break his hand one time and he'll still be 5 hits away from dying.
Gotcha. But you can break the second hand there as well, and then you notice by the time he actually goes into his final phase, basically you don't even have to see any of it. So really nice. Meanwhile, Emery performing the fishing hamlet skip.
Very clean DLC from Ahady.
Yep. So he'll be making his way back to where he fought Amelia, going to the optional area, the Hemlock Charnel Lane. And then, like I said, chat, we need some chat interaction here. Let's get Ahady to Canehurst Castle. Let's get Ahady to Logarius.
Gotta help him through the run.
He has to kill him, so we have to make sure he can find him. Emery, I don't know if Emery got the knives or did you see if Emery picked up
Yeah,
knives?
I didn't see if he picked up the knives or not. Talking to him yesterday, I thought he said he was going to, but I want to say that he used a pellet pretty early on in the Upper Cathedral, so I don't think he picked up additional items to buy.
Yeah, so Emery gonna fight Orphan Legit as well. Let's go, baby. The Louisiana legend. So, like you said, basically just double backstabs the entire time. Hope for no. When Orphan goes into Emery getting a running attack there. Whenever Orphan goes into phase 2, the one scary part about fighting Orphan Legit, you can actually do what we call Orphan Cheese, and oh
no!
Come on, Ahady getting shot and bitten on the way to the Hemlock. But anyways, when Orphan charges up to go into phase 2 around 50% health or lower, he has one attack where he screams and summons lightning. That attack cannot be backstabbed. He gets hyper armor. So the scary part about this fight is when Orphan goes into phase 2 and does instant lightning. That's pretty much you have to quit out, or your fights. Ideally you should never see phase 2 in a speed run, or if you do see it, you're just gonna do enough damage to kill him. So don't let me be a jinx here. Emery out of pellet. Let's go. All right, no instant lightning. So even without pellet now, should be able to finish him off.
Yeah. One more attack.
GG. GG.
Oh,
Gosh.
Yeah, you can see the fight can get real rough if you have a tough opener or you miss a backstab. You're looking for very certain attacks to punish, and it gets real scary real fast when you miss an attack or two. Or Orphan is just fucking. Oh, excuse me.
Freaking, yeah.
Yeah, just lobbing whatever they are at you.
Yeah. GG by Emery. Gonna dump inside
Throwing
now.
Make his way
to Lawrence. Let's hope Ahady doesn't get Mario'd here. Another Speed Souls runner. Mari Oof has a legendary, unfortunate death to the Witches of Hemlock. But somebody died. A couple people have died to witches in this tournament, so never say never.
I mean, it's so scary with the amount of 10-bit, just like, oh my god.
Both players just running. I'm going to do my hashtag sponsored, hashtag ad, hashtag not ad. This is the Bloodborne All Bosses tourney, hosted on Speed Gaming. Thank you to Speed Gaming for hosting this. We're wrapping up. We're only going to have one, potentially maybe 2 more matches after this. But thanks to Speed Gaming for hosting this. And guys, check out Speed Souls, man. Me and DK and Emery, kind of the 3 amigos, if you will. We all started running Bloodborne last August together. So it's a pleasure to commentate with DK. It's a pleasure to commentate Emery Racing. And then Ahady has been nothing but helpful. Check out our Discord, man. Come and ask any of his questions. For people that are just passionate about running Souls games, you can check out speedsouls.com. Right now the leaderboards are frozen. We're syncing API with speedrun.com. Speedrun.com actually has the up-to-date leaderboards, but you can come to Speed Souls to check out getting started. learn these glitches that they're doing, learn the skips that they're doing, and it's funny because it's known as a community of bullies, but I say that in jest. You really only say that once you've been there for a while, but we're more than happy to help new people. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the community was so helpful to all of us when we first started running.
I can't, yeah, Ahady.
And I just want to give a big shout out to Newbiesaurus Rex as well for really sending all of this tournament up and making it happen.
Yeah. Newbies told us
give
not
him
to
a
do it
follow,
every
too.
time, but we're going to do
Too
it.
bad, Newbie. Yep.
Newbies made. We had a successful Speed Souls DS1 tournament back in March that ended right around when this one started. When this one started in May, that one was wrapping up. And so, because we had a really good DS1 All Bosses tournament, we had this with 14 people. This is wrapping up, and there's actually going to be a DS3 tournament. Believe that the sign-ups are at the end of August. So if that's something that interests you, or you want to learn the game or something, check out the Speed Souls Discord, go into the DS3 discussion. DS3 should be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun to watch.
Yeah, there's going to be a Dark Souls 3 tournament. Sign-up is at the end of August. We don't know when it starts.
Ahady is now in Forsaken Canhurst Castle, so
chat.
help him out. Chat.
let's make sure we get Ahady to the boss. It's just a meme. Ahady, he used to get asked all the time if he killed Bulgarius in the all boss speedrun. So if you ever look in the bio under Ahady's channel, there's a frequently asked questions, and it just says no, we do not kill Bulgarius in the all boss speedrun because we're not able to find him. So we always like to give Ahady some grief when it comes to Bulgarius.
You're going the wrong way. Two more areas, Emery running through Hemrick Charnel Lane and Ahady running through Forsaken Canhurst Castle. Not much going on. Not much to really talk about.
Yeah. Both players just running right now. This is the final optional boss. So as soon as Ahady does this, he'll kill Garamond and Moon Presence, but those are both back in the Hunter's Dream. So obviously you don't want to die anywhere in the run. You die, those you're literally at the boss fights, so. But yeah, let's cheer both these runners on. Unfortunately, someone's going to have to go home today, like I said. For those that are watching, these guys make it look bad. Like I said, these are two of the top 6 times in the game out of like the 70-person leaderboard. So these guys both very good at what they do. But I just want to thank everybody that participated. DK and I participated. Newbie participated. You can type in !BB to see what the bracket was. But whoever wins this is going to go up against Romanticore, the Texas legend himself. Stern
so
W,
Romanticore.
Stern God, Stern. Another great runner. He's actually undefeated, yeah. And if Ahady goes against Romanticore, he will actually have to beat Romanticore twice because this is double elimination. And yeah, Romanticore hasn't lost yet, so should be really good final matches.
Ahady entering Ligarius now, which can be a little scary, but for the most part, it's a pretty straightforward fight. Couple R1 L1s, build some meter.
He can meme though.
Then you're gonna backstab and visceral. Oh yeah, he can definitely meme. But transforming.
Textbook. He might not kill him with this.
Yeah, I think he's gonna have a little bit of health left. Oh.
No, Bulgarius on the run. Oh, Bulgarius getting cheeky. Okay.
Oh, gets a nice parry.
Off.
Punches off with a dashing L1. Beautiful.
GG. So that's it for Ahady. Well, that's not it. You know what? It's not over quite yet. Emery has to make his way to Canehurst now and make his way through, but Ahady going back to the Hunter's Dream and gonna fight the final 2 bosses.
Yeah.
Garamond the First Hunter, really my favorite OST in all of Soulsborne. I love this guy's music. Fortunately, we won't
Emery
hear
getting
much of it.
blocked. Not quitting out.
Okay.
Makes his way through. Wow,
so
that was
notice what Ahady did back there was another very minimal time save done by Dan Koister. Ahady quit out on the barrel after he killed the witches. And what that does is resets enemies' position because you quit out. If you quit out on the barrel at the proper time, it also puts you back in the front of the room. But more than anything, it's to reset enemy position. So since Emery didn't quit out, he had to deal with the hags blocking the door. So Gehrman gonna be basically parry and backstab bait, and now he's gonna charge up for phase 3. And if Ahady does a well-timed double backstab or backstab into a misroll, he should be close to GG.
Yeah, it should be one hit away. Dash L1,
really nice.
GG.
That's it.
One boss left for Ahady now.
Yep, his beast blood pellet will keep going, so he may not have to pop one on Moon Presence. That was a pretty quick fight.
Yeah, that was a really good fight. Uh-oh, and we're getting chased by the blood liquor. Nah, that's true.
Yeah, they can kill you at the door. Moon Presence gonna do an attack here that takes you down to 1 HP. You get a good 5 seconds or so to rally it back though. Ahady's pellet runs out, he's gonna pop one here. And Moon Presence, not a beast, but as well you can stagger the limb, stagger the head. It's really hard to get a riposte because you're on uneven ground. You can visceral the head as well if the game allows you to. Ahady just opting to punish the legs. And that's it.
GG, Ahady. Very nice.
Very nice run by Ahady. Had some memes, but still gonna finish with, well, his RTA is 125.35. They haven't paused the whole time. I think this is gonna be like a 115, 116 for Ahady.
Maybe, yeah, he had those 2 unfortunate deaths in Nightmare of Mensis, but I think that was the only 2 deaths. And I think we'll try to get these guys in here to...
Just to show you guys how insane this dude is. That's like a top, that's like a top 25 time for most runners, and he just did that with multiple deaths. Like, Ahady's
in a tournament setting, yeah.
Insane. The Canadian legend. Is that Ahady?
Yes, sir.
Hey, bud.
Yo, what's up, Ahady? GG, man.
Run, man.
Yeah, GG.
So,
Still a
were you watching the stream when you were running, or?
Huh?
Were you watching the stream when you were running? So you knew
a little bit.
Where like
yeah.
Emery was at, or?
It was in the corner of my screen just so I could see, but I wasn't really looking all that much.
Yeah. So tell us about your run, man. What'd you think about it? I joined late, but I saw from One Reborn on. So you got memed a couple times at Mikolash.
It was pretty bad. Like the first fight on Mikolash, my cleaver just went right through him.
Yeah.
And it was just ridiculous. Like if I didn't die to Mikolash, this run would have been like a 110.
Yeah, for sure. That was then the elevator meme, obviously.
That was stupid,
trying to get back up there, but yeah.
And then I had to go.
We're still 114, man, with those 2 deaths.
That's
really
really
good.
impressive. Yeah. Let's root Emery on though, guys. We'll for a post game interview as well. But unfortunately, this is going to be the end of the road for Emery. But he had a really nice tournament, making it this far. He won either 3 or 4 races. So.
Oh, sorry, I got rid of my time. I forgot.
That's all good. These guys, like I said, these guys make it look easy, man. But it's really hard to do this game in a race setting. So what else happened in your run? How did you got?
Other than that, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like second try stair skip, I think, and I think that was like really the only other little mishap.
Did you notice early on that Emery
Shadows was a little scary for a second, but
yeah, I saw that
very
Emery
well.
died to
old Yarnum skip 4 times.
Skip 4 times, really?
Yeah, 3 or 4 times is what they said, and he never took the lamp either.
So he had to do it the old way, eventually.
Alright, Emery back in the dream.
But yeah, I lost like 5 or 6 minutes to the Miko segment, which is really frustrating.
Yeah. Looked like Wet Nurse was really nice, like 3rd try Lecture Hall skip, Grave skip, everything else looked pretty damn good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Orphanage key skip was really good too.
I was hoping for at least a 109, but it's fine, I'll get it next race. I hope one of my races against Romanticore, I want to get a 109 at least.
One of your races, very confident.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you next, man. You've already raced Romanticore. For those of you that don't know, Romanticore and Ahady are pretty close to one another. They've already raced once, but for the finals, Romanticore would have to win once, or Ahady will have to win twice to take this thing home. What do you think about going up against the Stern God again, man?
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you were pretty thirsty for
redemption or what?
I think I'm like
Ooh, Emery getting parried.
I'm pretty consistent at this game.
Yeah,
Other than shadows, I'm pretty bad at shadows. But I mean, like, as long as I can get past the early game, I think I can beat Man's Core.
Nice. I'm hoping for a best 2 out of 3, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see.
I'm not too happy with this run though. It's pretty frustrating.
Yeah.
Emery's starting Moon Presence now. One more boss left.
Cheer on Emery, guys. This is the end. He can still get sub 120, which is really good in the tournament setting, in my opinion. Not for people on like Ahady next level runs, but this game's hard, guys. This game's really relentless and unforgiving, and not being able to reset. Like, these guys' times are so good. Ahady at 107, Emery 1 second over 109. That these guys would reset to literally any death in a run.
I reset when the wolf in the clank blocks me for like half a second.
Yeah, Ahady resets with over 4 minute gas point. Like,
yeah.
These guys are insanely good at what they do. So GG, Emery.
GG, yeah. Good race ahead.
You're already here. What's up, Galen?
Hey.
Tell us about your run, man. I didn't see the time yet. What was the time?
116.
116.02.
Oh, so
shit,
yeah,
that
you
was...
only lost by 90 seconds, man. So that's what we were telling you guys about RTA, with the loading screens, Ahady being on a PS4 Pro. We haven't had it yet where somebody had a higher RTA in one, but in-game time is what we go off, and Ahady finished almost 5 minutes ago, but won by 90 seconds.
I think I was
really close
behind until he died in the research hall. I think we were like pretty much dead even until he died in the research hall.
Pretty much all of my time lost that run was either mobs or skips. Like, it just atrociously bad.
I was ahead by a mile going into Mikolash, and then I lost like 5 or 6 minutes to Miko. I died to Miko, and then I died to the elevator going back up to Miko.
Oh jeez.
Tell me what happened to him, because my snooze button got pushed one too many times.
Honest to God, 100%. I had every intent of doing the old Yarnum skip and not getting the lamp. But I'm racing against Ahady. Last time we raced, he got a 110, which is one of the best times in the tourney, if not the best. So I was like, this dude's trying hard as hell, so I'm going to try as hard as hell as well. And it fucked me. But I failed it like 3 times.
What happened?
Yeah, it was like 3 or 4 times. First skip was rough too, actually. I think you had like 4 tries for a skip. But other than that, you turned it around and it was a really solid run until the research hall meme.
Yeah, but I don't know. Most of the boss fights went really well and everything. It's just that was it. That was what pretty much lost it for me. Is me going for that new skip 3 or 4 times.
Did you miss the plunge or what happened?
I like went to the left of the pole or the post or whatever the first time and fell and died, and then I like fell off sort of the little column that you land on to roll off of, and it just kept happening. Yeah. I was like, well, this race is over, so I started just yelling the crap out of everything after that, because I didn't know where Ahady was. I wasn't watching the race. I was just focusing on the run. And then I like turned it on toward the end of the DLC, and I saw he was at Orphan while I was at like Failures or something.
Yeah.
I was like, I have maybe a chance if something goes horribly wrong.
Yeah, I think until you died at Research Hall, I think we were pretty much dead even, because I'm on Pro.
Yeah, it's crazy how close
you were
this race
probably like a minute behind, like in terms of
I should have picked up those 2 elixirs earlier and used them to get through the Research Hall. I think that could have made it.
I quit out a lot. I quit out like 5 or 6 times this run. It was pretty bad.
I got body blocked by those 2 gumball heads at the bottom of the stairs by the Gatling gun guy, and I decided for whatever reason not to swing at him. I just tried to force myself through him, which never works. So
I try that way too much. Just like see a mob, you're like, damn it, I'm gonna get through here by sheer will.
I mean, I'm glad it was a close race. I hope it was fun to watch.
Yeah, dude, that was like
it was a really good race. Yeah,
really close for a Bloodborne race.
Really Monka shake the whole run.
Tell us about Orphan, Emery. I saw you decided not to get knives because you died to the Winterland turrets. Is that why? Or
I had every intent. I had every intent of choosing him originally, and like pretty much all of my races. But like I said, going against Ahady, I knew I had to kind of go for things to have a chance. So that's why
I saw your pellet run out. And he went
the fight was a little scary toward the beginning, and then they got the pellet running out, but fine.
Yeah, you got the classic running attack when you go for a backstab.
Yeah, every time he does that whirl around where you like dash into him and try and punish it, I always get like a running attack there for some reason. It's really awkward.
Really good tournament, man. You won at least the 3, maybe 4 races. So, did you have a good tourney experience?
Yeah, it was great. I just
Third
want to
place.
wish Ahady all the luck against Romance Core. That'll be
Oh
fun.
God, Stern God.
He's
And
got to
more
win
Shadow
2 out of
Games.
3. He's got to win 2 out of 3, man.
You gotta win twice in a row.
Grand finals.
So for those of you guys watching, hopefully we have 2 more races left. I'm not rooting against Romance Core, by the way. I have no bias. But if Ahady wins once, we get a final match. If not, the next race will be the final one. So this has been awesome, guys. It's been 6 weeks of Bloodborne races. It's been extremely fun to commentate. Extremely fun to participate. I hope you guys.
Yeah, and I just want to quickly say thank you to everybody again who stuck around dealing with all the technical difficulties in the beginning.
I want to apologize for being an hour late. I stayed up too late playing Dark Souls.
Ass.
Yeah, final ship. Have you guys talked about a date yet? Ahady, or have you guys?
Not really. Probably sometime.
I'm guessing next week.
Just to get it over with.
Yeah.
Because this has already been going on for quite a while. This tournament's been going on for
since
over
May.
Now, right?
Started in mid-May.
Yeah. I mean, that's good. Everybody thought, like, when Newbie started the tournament, he said, "Oh, if we don't have enough people, it's only going to go for like a couple weeks." I'm like, "No, man. Like,
yeah, this was 14 headed,
people. Like, we're not going to do a race every day. Like, no way."
We got 14 already signed up. I read in chat for the Dark Souls 3 tournament. So guys, check out Speed Souls, man. Ahady's been nothing but helpful. Emery and DK and I all started running the game together. Check out Speed Souls, man. We're all just passionate about running Souls games. These guys run other games. Emery's actually doing PS3 right now. Ahady does some PS1. But these guys are extremely talented at what they do. Check them out.
I've been running this game twice as long as these guys, and they're almost overtaking me like they're crazy people.
Yeah. We'd be more than happy to help you guys.
Emery is almost at my time, and he has like half as many attempts as me, probably. It's crazy.
Emery got good extremely fast.
Yeah, it's like insane.
Oh. So
it was a pleasure to commentate you guys.
What is this nice Ahady right now? What is going on?
Ahady one compliment.
I would swear, but this is family friendly.
I did that like twice.
A couple F-bombs may have been dropped.
Hecking crap, man.
It's hard, man.
Anything else you guys want to say?
Not really.
Alright.
It was fun.
Congrats again to Emery. Congrats again to Ahady. Congrats again
to
GG,
guys.
Good tournament. Good race. And, we'll keep you guys posted. It'll be in the Speed Souls Discord, or you can always come here and type in !B. There's a site called Challenge. I don't know how to really say it, but it's something like that.
Like
challenge with an O.
I don't know why it's an O.
You can type in !BB and it'll give you a schedule. So once these guys get it sorted out, and we don't know how much longer, but it'll obviously be coming up. So hopefully 2 more races, if not at least 1 more. So hopefully you guys are all able to attend. It should be a really good one. So
it's going to be at least 2 more races.
Okay, there we go.
And I'm going to win at least 2 of them.
The insane Canadian confidence. Can't argue with it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much, Speed Gaming. We've been on every single channels in 6 weeks this has been going. Thanks to Speed Souls. Again, we're all a part of it. We're happy to help. Ahady's made videos. He's helped guide us, most of us, since day one. And everybody, there's multiple Speed Souls people in chat. If you guys ever want to learn anything about these games, man. So, I hope everybody has a good day.
Alright, see you guys later.
Yeah, it was fun.
Later. Thank you, DK.
GG. Thanks for commenting, Casey.
Take it easy, man.
Later.
Yeah, thank you so much, Speed Gaming. We've been on every single channels in 6 weeks this has been going. Thanks to Speed Souls. Again, we're all a part of it. We're happy to help. Ahady's made videos. He's helped guide us, most of us, since day one. And everybody, there's multiple Speed Souls people in chat. If you guys ever want to learn anything about these games, man. So, I hope everybody has a good day.
Yeah, it was fun.
Thank you.